What I mean is, no, he got me flying high, high. Oh, pick up smack him out, smack him out. Oh, oh, what? Supposed to go flat my pocket. I feel like your life has the power for us to say. How much is two? Oh shit, crash it then. Okay. Let's go to a public. Let's go to a public setting. You're right, running the same street. What the hell?
Wow.
Oh. I'll thank you. Hello, Brad. Good, let's go. Oh, level 24.
I wish you could see the patch notes. Have to, look at it. Because I don't really pay attention.
Oh. My booty cheeks are shaking, bro. Alrighty guys, welcome to Forsaken News. In this video, we have some very, very important news to cover. Let's get started. So the huge thing to talk about is that Soul Driven Love, the original owner of Forsaken, sold the game to an unknown company called Social Link Games. So Hitoko just stated that instead of finishing transferring the game, Soul and Ava ghosted both Basil and Hitoko, and instead sold the game for $1.4 million. Now Hitoko and Basil are currently still the owners and have full control of the game, and Soul and Ava are completely gone from Forsaken. Now what does it mean for Forsaken? Well, to be honest, I really have no idea. Hitoko has clarified that Forsaken's development will not be staggered and continue as always. They've also stated that Soul told the people who bought Forsaken that they cannot cut the percentages, and that people can keep being paid as they have been. Hitoko has made Social Link Games, and the people behind it rebrand the holders that can expect it, keep the ARP and Forsaken going. Also, Soul and Ada have both been banned from Forsaken Discord server. Hitoko has also announced that, with the purchase, they may have infinite monetization into the game. Now, this does not mean they're going full UK studios in the game, but more transactions will be potentially added. Originally, the transfer of the game was temporary. However, Hitoko and Basil were get the game off the Soul and Ava's hands and in a better hands. Hitoko later realized their mistakes and clarified it was permanent. Ava and Soul later felt backstabbed, and in an act of retaliation, they sold the game. Now, going to what happened to the game. Characters like Cerulean, who were designed by Ava, will now be undergoing a full redesign. However, characters like Susan and Chance are too iconic, according to Hitoko, and most of them stay the same. So to summarize all this up, Forsaken has been sold without Hitoko or Basil's knowledge. However, they'll still have full control of the game. This will not affect the game, except for certain characters having a small chance of getting a redesign. Anyway, that's going to be all the Forsaken I have for you today. Let me know how you guys feel about all this news. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe for more Forsaken.
This is a very important Forsaken News video as it involves a lot of things that's happening in the development right now, including the game being sold, Hytoko's situation, and a lot more. Without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. First of all...
Is it getting bigger or is it getting closer? Trying to get Murphy's Law. Stop moving slowly in the air.
To financially supporting a neo-German dictator and a known offender, lying about removing a developer with a history of child abuse, distributing illegal material himself, and blackmailing multiple victims. And he doesn't stop there. He's also been accused of manipulating minors, inserting content involving a 15-year-old original character into a modded game, and bribing one of his victims to the point of violence. Despite all of this, he continues to present himself as someone who change while privately stalking, harassing, and re-traumatizing the people he hurt. Even with all this, there was still a narrative painting him as misunderstood, one that left out almost every serious allegation. And within days of the latest evidence going public, the Forsaken development team quickly stripped him of his ownership, handing the game over to a new team. In this video, we're going to break down everything that's happened over the past few days, everything Soldier and Law tried to hide, and why he should have never had this platform in the first place. This isn't about cancel culture, it's about consequences. Before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe. This is an ongoing situation, and more updates are likely to follow. Now, let's get into this whole situation. So 3 days ago, Roblox... subscribers, I already know this will result in a huge drama. Let's start with a name that you might already know, Documentary. He used to post original content. Nothing groundbreaking, but it was possible. That was until he decided to shift his entire strategy into what I can only describe as straight up content repurposing, and not in a remix or collab kind of way. Documentary has basically turned into a copy and pasting machine, taking exposed videos that other creators spend hours if not weeks researching, scripting, and editing, and re-uploading them like they're his own original work. Here's the wild part. Based on my analysis, over 40 to 50% of each documentary video is just direct clips taken from other creators, not paraphrased, not summarized, literally lifted, framed, and pasted in with a couple voiceovers to make it feel fresh. I'm sure they're tossing a name or two in the description, but that doesn't really change the fact that these videos are mostly not aged. They just recycle, like leftovers reheated in the microwave and sold as gourmet. It's like going to a restaurant, stealing their food, and reselling it on your own food truck, but scribbling shout out to Gordon Ramsay and Maston and calling it original content. And here's why this actually matters. Documentaries videos, which again are mostly plagiarized, regularly outperform the original videos they're lifted from. But because of how he formats his videos, viewers usually walk away knowing less than if they'd actually watched the original source material. That's one of the biggest reasons I felt the need to speak up. He's not doing this to spread awareness, he's doing it because it's an easy, well-upper way to profit out to other people's hard work.
Reach Express, Sun Express, Turkey from $59.99. Book now.
For the first time ever, you get next-gen power in gaming earbuds, giving you flawless wireless. That's plug and play. And spatial audio with active noise cancellation. For glory.
And from what I saw, he doesn't even pretend to care about the actual issues at hand. The specific case I'm talking about here is the Bonky Doge situation, something I've been covering extensively on this channel. Documentary's video on Bonky Doge was basically a watered-down version of mine with a few extra lines thrown in just to extend the runtime. But those added lines dragged the video out by 2 or 3 minutes. And that meant fewer videos stuck around for the part that actually mattered. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know that I focus on the legal side of these situations. That's how I determine if someone's legitimately in the wrong. I did the same thing in my Bonky Doge video. In fact, a lot of people said that specific segment was what convinced them that Bonky Doge was guilty. But when Documentaries uploaded his version of that same story, he stole at least 40% of my video, including somehow my intro, which I don't even know how that happened. That's just stupid. But the part that really gets me is this. He shoved the legal breakdown, arguably the most important part of the video, all the way to the end of his video, which was around the 9 or 12 minute mark. And if you look at his viewer attention, most people clicked off before they even got to that section. So not only did his audience miss the key legal context, but because my work has already been recycled in his video, they didn't feel the need to watch my video either, meaning that my video didn't perform as well either.
Keep moving like you're on a fucking radio. There's no way you can make something excellent sleep.
The personal business, hey, you stop. Never fear, but I
Who is Minnie?
She's my girlfriend.
What else do you need to do? This game got me clenching my toes.
Let's go. It's not.
You don't have to do this. I promise I'll get you and the goons your money, eh? I just need more time. No, wait. Oh, what the? No!
Attention everyone. The party is starting.
Whether the first to do so, or play the powerful crown.
In Forsaken, you are capable of playing as 10 different survivors, all with their own unique abilities attached to their own unique identities. Each one of them exciting in their own way, able to completely switch up the game. Like how Shibletsky can stun the killer, stopping them dead in their tracks. Or how 007 and 7 can create duplicates of himself to trick the killer. Or how Dusakar can protect one of their allies with a barrier, so long as distance is kept from the killer. Or with the power of working as a team, absolutely nothing can stop you. Doesn't it make you angry? Aren't you riddled with spite? When your team lets you down, when they turn you into a fool, what will there be left of you? Look at yourself, keeled over like a pathetic poodle. So, that's it. You give up? No, you're better than that. You know what you have to do. You will show them hate. Hey, that wasn't very cool, dude. Well, anyways, 1x, 1x, 1x.
One
How do you say the
excellent.
full name with a straight face? Is one of the 4 killers in Forsaken that you can play as. He's a range-based killer, with his objective as the killer to stand alone as the primary threat of the
Lobster
game. No
meat.
teammates to work with, then no teammates you'll ever need to work with. Just you and your blade, ready to pay retribution, or something like that. Now, fundamentally, killer gameplay is very different to survivor gameplay. Your abilities have a lot more weighting power than what small tricks that survivors can pull off, with generally lower
Lobster
cooldown time
meat.
and one ability unanimously
Lobster
all
meat!
hit. This
Lobster meat! Lobster meat!
damage on hit, but because 1x is corrupted and evil, every swing will also apply Poison 1 and Glitched 1 for 5 seconds. The poison will deal additional damage over time, and Glitched will cover your screen in these inverted squares that rapidly flicker all over your screen, obscuring your view temporarily. This makes 1x quite a deadly threat. At the moment you're hit, not only do you suffer extra damage over time, but you can't see. Alright, that's enough. Glitched also makes your target more susceptible to damage, just like weakness does, meaning they take more damage after every consecutive hit. This also means that Glitch can bypass resistance stacks like Dusakar's shield, epilepsy, no, don't save you from that. Obviously, them, aggressively clicking with your mouse doesn't exactly make for exciting gameplay, which is why 1X's second ability begins to make the whole range part of it make a lot more sense. Mass infection is an ability which forces 1X to stay in place, as he makes a rattlesnake hissing sound before continuing a massive green shockwave. This shockwave will deal 35 damage to anyone who steps close to his warpath, and just like Slash, will also inflict the target with glitch 1 and poison 1 for 5 seconds. Because
I wonder where the killer is at.
The hissing sound that plays right before the shockwave is very, very loud, and essentially announces to the entire lobby that you're about to take the nastiest trick of your life, to which most people take it advice to heart and actually start moving around to make themselves less predictable. To those who have no game sense though, well, they're the ones who are taking the blunt force of this maneuver. However, one-ranged ability isn't enough for the guy who primarily wields melee weapons. Obviously, that's why 1X is intended. This ability will cause 1X to throw out his swords, and can be catch them will be forced to stop moving before they have to play a minigame of closing up all the guns levels with his gameplay. Only then, once they block your email account, you will get to resume moving. However, by the time they're done with that, you'll already have caught up as 1X gains speed 2 for 2 seconds the moment you return the play. Unless there's OC veteran Legend Pablo, Entanglement will serve as your best friend throughout your games, as the rate at which the projectile travels and the wind-up to it is far faster and harder to react to than this PC noise machine, typically meant for chaining and being able to pull out 3 hits. For 1X's fourth ability, you have the option to rip out your eye. This will cause you to go blind. Okay, well, you also get a highlight on every survivor on speed 1 for 6.5 seconds, but I mean, come on, I don't need the game to remind me of my real-life vision. With this ability, you can either use it to A, discover where the survivors are currently located, or B, I'm gonna catch you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you! Either use is perfectly valid, and I'm sure the blindness 3 won't end up hurting more than helping. As 1X's final ability, upon killing a single survivor, you are able to rejuvenate the rotten. This will cause every single survivor you kill to have a minion emerge from the location they died. If a survivor stumbles upon one, they will immediately become aggressive and begin targeting them until the survivor leaves the range of 50 stuns. The minions themselves only deal a measly 14 damage, with even a more pathetic 10 HP, which makes them easily killable by all sentinels. But remember, all these minions are the reborn version of the survivor, which means in essence, they're still survivors, and you hate survivors. Which is why, that's right, you can kill those bastards again! Upon slaying one of your minions, 1X receives speed 1 for 10 seconds, kill another, and you get speed 2 with the timer in center. One more time, and I get messages from the stars. We must be from another galaxy. Yeah, 1X having speed 3 is pretty nuts, but did you know you can also stack this speed with any other ability that grants you speed? That means Unstable Eye and Entanglement will both grant you the stacked speed with the minion speed respectively. It is a bit buggy though, as your timer will end abruptly if you use these abilities before you kill a minion. Hell, even Mass Infection and Interact with themselves technically these 2 boxes count as separate hitboxes, which technically means you hit the minion twice, which would also mean you technically would be granted speed 1 twice, which would also grant speed. Okay, listen, you just get speed 3. Alright. That is a lot to process, and it's no surprise why. After all, 1X is the only killer with 5 abilities, and the game itself acknowledges its complexity with a 5-star difficulty rating. But here, look, I'll do you a solid. I'll summarize 1X gameplay in just 30 seconds. Camping just killed. I hate you. Jeez, what was that, guest? That's right, die for trying to be useful, guest. And that's right, Get's never been useful, Tav. And that's right, get bullied for being useless. God, I just hate these. I hate them all. Getting tangled. I'll kill you right here, right now.
Build PCs and laptops. Just for gamers, right? No. It's for creators like me.
Maybe if 1X stops. Yeah, hey, they did stop. Well, he did stop because the game.
First we claim to just some shenanigans.
I'm not understanding.
Then we claim to just some shenanigans.
And what they do for you is they give you a pop.
Hey, yo, chill out. Yo, you sitting there playing.
Oh boy, that girl is so pretty. I think I'm going to ask her out on a date. Hey, did you want to maybe grab a bite?
Fuck you.
Said the fuck you girl, stealing my balls and straight up throwing them like a quarterback.
Are you sure we can drive a car? I don't give two shits what happens. I just want to drink and drunk.
Watch it, Zor. Oh yeah, what are you gonna do
In the
about it?
weather. Boys. Yeah.
I need y'all on your top performance tomorrow. And you just do your thing. We got a long day ahead of us tomorrow. Alright, boys, good night.
It could be anywhere.
Guess 1337 is the worst Sentinel in Forsaken.
I mean, yes, because I love pain.
Guest might arguably be the worst survivor in the game. I have even more controversial opinions, as I'm of the opinion that Guest doesn't really take that much skill to play to begin with. Okay, you've probably got a lot of questions, because a lot of what I said is definitely unpopular. Don't worry, I'm not here to be contrarian or rage bait you in any way. I have a long list of reasons last video. This will be a little different from my usual style of video. Guess it's a little hard to talk about just because of how much of his kit is dependent on other parts of it, so we'll break down individual problems first, then larger problems. It'll hopefully make more sense that way. Also, this video is meant to start discussions and is ultimately just my opinion. I have a lot of experience with asymmetrical horror games in general, so I feel like I have a lot of strong experience and arguments to make to support my opinion. I think it's worth saying these opinions just because of how different they are from a lot of the community at large. With that out of the way, let's start the video. Guest is a Sentinel survivor, meaning he specializes in protecting his team and himself from the killer through very direct means. Much of Sentinel gameplay is defined by hovering around or staying in close proximity of the killer or the other survivors, disrupting chases
I never get a skin that I see no one
Guest has
use for
15 more HP than other survivors and has a priority hurt box. What this means, if multiple people are in the hitbox of an attack and the attack can only hit one person, it will always hit Guest. This is primarily for consistency on his block ability. Speaking of abilities, Guest's most reliable one is his charge ability, which we're going to cover first because of its wide range of applications. Primarily, you'll be using this as either an engagement tool against the killer to protect your teammate from being chased, a free mid-chase extension, or a minion destroyer. This ability has a 45-second cooldown, being longer than Shedletsky and Chance's stuns, and upon collision with either a minion or the killer, Guest gains 1.5 seconds of invincibility, and it will lock the killer's abilities for that same duration of time. As such, the ability is a very low commitment, easy to use dodge chase extender, as previously mentioned. Using this for escape and mobility is not advisable at all, as you get slowness 2 if you don't hit a killer or a minion. The duration is calculated based on your distance from the killer, so the farther away you are at the end of the charge, the more you'll get slowed. However, you can also use it for escaping as long as there's a minion close by enough to collide to avoid the slowness debuff. Other than that, you want to use this to force the killer away from your teammates or force them off of stairs, cliffs, and stuff like that. Finally, this ability gets nerfed if the killer has already been charged into in the last 10 seconds. Instead of any of the defensive options, all it does is deal a whopping 15 damage. Cool. Really, this ability isn't the craziest, but it's very helpful if you're able to use the rest of Guest's kit in tandem with it. It'll probably be the ability you get the most actual consistent value out of, which is a little sad. I need to also mention that charge can end up being pretty detrimental to your team if used improperly.
Some guest players will charge at a killer from behind, looping them forward into their team. I've taken damage I shouldn't have because of a guest doing this. I've also killed support survivors because of guests doing this to me as well. This is all to say there is an improper way of using this ability. So, his block ability. This is the most important part of Guest's kit, and is required to access the majority of his power. Blocking grants Guest resistance 5, being functionally invincible, and gets slowed for a second or two. If a melee attack hits his block, he gains speed 1 for 3 seconds and gains 1 charge of punch, which is his only method of stunning the killer. Blocking does tank the damage of projectiles, but unlike melee attacks, it won't prevent status effects from being applied, meaning something like one-axis projectiles will still ultimately hurt you. So, instantly, we have a huge problem with Guest. He needs to block an attack to get his stun and most of his power. This is easier said than done, as blocking as an ability is entirely dependent on the killer. Guest is the only Sentinel that has this problem. Whereas the other 3 Sentinels can use powerful parts of their kits on command and on their own time, Guest has to play by the template of the killer. The most consistent way to land your block is to make the killer think you're vulnerable. You have a lot of ways to do this, from feinting item usage, running into walls on purpose, intentionally missing your charge, juking a killer into swinging while tilted, pretending to be occupied on a generator, stuff like that. While these tactics do raise the chances of some killers swinging, the issue is that you're still ultimately making yourself vulnerable and you're still always guessing. Notice how I said some killers. More experienced killers are going to be aware of Guests and their tricks, and aren't going to fall for them, or simply will just choke the block out of you. Keep in mind that once a killer gets in range of melee attacking you, it's statistically impossible to get out of the range
M7! You killed me!
Every other Sentinel, this stun encourages the killer to keep their distance or be careful when the door is strikes, as improper timing can result in a stun. With Guest, killers can basically breathe down your neck and be completely unafraid to just choke the block out of you. Blocking does have threat potential, but in comparison to an actual stun, it's very minuscule, and it doesn't prevent them from just getting close to you. All of this to say, just because you place down some bait doesn't mean anything is going to bite. This isn't even mentioning that the killers have their own mental warfare that they can do. Carelessly swinging and pretending to be bad, predicting the block and intentionally using a longer straight-up attack, all of these other things. And then, of course, latency. Some killers will be laggy, or maybe you're laggy, causing situations where they'll hit you from a long distance away, and there's really no way you could have reasonably guessed you could have blocked there. Of course, killers could also genuinely just end up missing their attacks as well, which only ends up hurting you as a result. So, here's us looping around to some of my more controversial Guest opinions. Blocking is not the part of Guest that requires that much skill. A lot of blocking is just guesswork. Sure, more experience and time you have on Guest will absolutely help you make more efficient blocks. But it's never going to be surefire thanks to the ability just being foundationally dependent on the killer. Roughly 4 minutes isn't that long of a time to observe a killer. Especially if you're doing a gen and having to look at the killer in the first place. Not to mention whether or not the killer will actually play around the Guest abilities or not. In my opinion, Guest is noticeably more luck-based than Chance. Isn't that funny? Guest is at the actual whims of taking a gamble with no clear odds, while Chance has very fixed, consistent, and predictable rates that create a consistently strong, stun-focused survivor. This isn't even mentioning that as Guests use these tricks more and they become more well-known, they're going to have a much lower success rate as more people are just aware that this is what Guests do to bait people into blocks. I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying blocking is completely useless or anything, because it isn't. It absolutely is not. However, it is really not that strong of an ability compared to so many other things in this game. Finally, we have Guest's punch ability. This is what most people think the character is all about. If you use your punch within a second of blocking, Guest lunges forward with a punch that stuns the killer for 3.5 seconds. This is called a parry punch, and it has a lot of end lag that Guest misses, and you won't really be able to take advantage of the speed boost gained by blocking the attempt to parry punch, whether he misses or hits it. Parry punching is extremely high risk and generally unreliable. Just because you block doesn't mean you're guaranteed a stun. As a matter of fact, killers can just back off or sidestep a punch once they realize they're taking a block. You'll really have to get a feel for when the parry punch is worth it, but the best times are generally when the killer isn't expecting a block in the first place, or if it's for the sake of protecting a teammate. Throwing the punch and utilizing the speed boost instead is a much safer and more consistent option for self-sustain. Speed 1 is heavily impactful, and now you have a stunning attack punch that the killer has to be way more afraid of. Just the threat of this punch can help you gain more distance, and when you do actually go for it and land it, that's some more distance and some even more stamina regain. Now, this stun only lasts for 2 seconds if it's not a parry. That's still a decently long enough time for you to get distance and gain some more damage during chase again. However, due to how short it is extremely hard for teammates to find value out of it should it be used to protect them. Generally, the stuns of every other Sentinel are better for protecting others. You should still use your punch to protect others when you have the option. It's just 2 seconds for someone who isn't ready to take advantage of it isn't going to be great. Now that we're here, let's just talk about Guest's ability to body block and bang. Firstly, killers do not get slowed down at all when hitting a survivor. Taking a hit that's meant for someone else won't really do much to delay the killer's main target from getting hit by roughly 2 seconds or so. Not to mention, against Jason, body blocking is pretty much worthless. While Guest does have the priority hitbox and he has the block ability, there's also the fact that just jumping in front of somebody to tank an attack is a lot easier said than done. Not only do you have to protect the killer and when they'll attack, but now you have to protect your teammate and you'll basically need to be on top of your teammate to protect them efficiently. Then, if you don't land a parry punch, the killer can kind of just ignore you and focus on your teammate. Not to be a broken record, but this is much less of an issue for every other Sentinel. It lets him go for him whenever he wants, and doesn't have to worry about damage as he can just walk it off thanks to his chicken, giving him personal sustain that he can use to tank hits for his team. Chance should be self-explanatory. They can be anywhere on the map and stun the killer. 2-time, well, has a better version of the block, a helpless affliction, a heal, and a potential 4-second stun all in one button. Really, there's not much of a competition between Guest and 2-time in this aspect. If you don't block and simply use the priority hitbox and your teammate somehow gets away, that's 2 survivors that are probably going to be healing. Chance avoids taking damage in the first place, and both 2-time and Shedletsky have means of picking themselves back up. Guest, on the other hand, has no way to heal himself should he take damage. He's completely reliant on the support of his teammates. That's running your Elliot even more thin, or meaning you'll have 2 teammates sitting by a dispenser rather than just 1. There's just a lot more advantages from having any other Sentinel be your bodyguard instead of Guest.
Sometimes it's the little things. You've probably...
Violating players in Roblox Forsaken.
Dark Souls. Should be go through. Gotta go in Dark Souls again. Everyone else ain't no good. That's the dude.
Violating players in Roblox Forsaken. Forsaken has got to do something about its killers. Because why the hell am I getting decapitated by something that's not even on the screen? Now don't get me wrong, I get it. Not everyone can have glorious ping like me, but it truly gets to a point.
A point where I'm convinced these are just the actual damn hitboxes. If I wanted to get bent over backwards simply for existing, I'd just cut my losses and play chance.
Don't work. Gun!
Forsaken has got to do something about it.
the perimeter. We're safe. No one's gonna interfere with our camping.
Like two peas in a pod. I like puppies. Oh my god! You're my number one troll.
Cringe. The murder drunk summer camp collects.
Wires got crossed when I was about 3. Dad had bloody heavy hands, used them on me. My mama bust her heart, she gave me a start. She got killed, bad man, dad slipped in a scam. Grew up in the system, bounced a couple homes. This woman married you to be hand-me-down clothes. Shy at the start. They say my only friend. That's decades
with HR leaders globally to see how the world of HR is changing.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to control.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh. Try and get
Can you strip off your clothes and put them as a purse? So I can put
yes,
them
just right now.
What?
Right now, Josh.
On this kitty?
We'll try and get out now.
Oh my goodness. We're going to the park tomorrow with Auntie Ree.
Oh, someone got the coin.
What's that thing, Penny? Joshua, what do you do? Your clothes.
Yeah, you're... Come on, just on.
Big Mickey.
Get Mickey. Now.
Are you sure? Yeah. Where do I...
I want your clothes here.
Okay. What do you mean?
To clean them. Get dressed. Undressed. He's not throwing them down. Now, Joshua. You need to get on that stuff stat. Status report, Joshua.
Cheeseburger.
That's disgusting.
Custom built PCs and laptops, just for gamers, right?
No.
job application.
So anyway, Smile 2.
I keep seeing this face everywhere.
Parasite. You witnessed the death. Now it's left to you.
Smile 2 is a movie I thought was good. Mostly. 2 years ago I made a video complaining about the first Smile while sitting in bed, too faded to notice I was feeling myself out of focus. Does that mean Smile 2 doesn't have any of the things that annoyed me about the first Smile? Smile was a movie about a therapist who gradually loses her mind after being visited by a demon who might only possibly be a metaphor for childhood trauma reason stuck. You think maybe this demon now is the trope of a horror movie
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours.
The war first started out like a dog, a little port town. Chapel was out snooping around.
I literally
transfixed. The rush of blood straight to my mysterious as a flight of doves has tailed me ever since I lost my mom. She invited me to watch her fly trapeze. Do as I please. Nobody ever been there to look out for me. I'm all on my own in shit city. Nobody ever been there to look out for me. Caution to the wind that it feels real free. Should I do it? Screw it. Push me around. You can't get me down, down, down. Gonna push me up.
clapped. What's it thing? What's it thing? What's it called? It's a flat map. Hopefully.
Excellently. The boy's not business. And there he gets stabbed. Never fear, but I understand.
fix the headset.
Oh, you're a genius.
I know.
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it out of here.
Oh, it's broken. Okay, I fixed it. But you watch your tone.
I'm sorry.
And you better start inviting my sister to all your dumb parties.
I can't give you a guarantee.
Alright, then it's broken.
There we all finished.
Do I look like a real boy, Papa?
Arbus, brilha. Arbus, brilha.
What did the
That's like kind of Sarahlene's relationship is like super like family daughter, like a father-daughter, if that makes sense.
part of the aftermath, you know, heaven and hell kind of vibe. But in 3, they're going back in time to a very distinct chapter, and this is what really comes from. Get that shoot and kind of falling for a girl named Carla, and he throughout his entire adolescent life. Falling for a girl named Carla.
Wires got crossed when I was about 3. Dad had bloody heavy hands, used them on me. My mama, bless her heart, she gave me a start. She got killed, bad man, dad slipped in a scam. Grew up in the system, bounced a couple homes. This woman married, gifted me hand-me-down clothes. Shy at the start till this guy named Ship. You had 100 pounds on me, call me Riddle Bone. Wires got crossed when I was about 3. Dad had bloody heavy hands, used them on me. My mama, bless her heart, she gave me a start. She got killed, bad man, dad slipped in a scam. Grew up in the system, bounced a couple homes. This woman married, gifted me hand-me-down clothes. Shy at
Turn on the machine.
Space Wieners! Nobody inside, nobody gets caught. Man. Taking it back to age 20, there was love, deceit, and mystery. When Shifty died, Judge gave 4 years. Never that a kid could hear. When you got a record, you're kinda screwed. So I got a job cleaning up hotel rooms. Then I saw a beauty that blew my mind when a circus came took town one night. Wires got crossed when I was about 3. Dad had bloody hands, used them on me. My mama, bless her heart, she gave me a start. She got killed, bad man, dad slipped in a scam. Grew up in the system, bounced a couple homes. This woman married, gifted me hand-me-down clothes. Shy at the start till this guy named Ship. You had 100 pounds on me, call me Riddle Bones Nicky. The rush of blood straight to my glass. You know I lit up my eyes. lines without a second's thought. I'm not an asshole, but don't care about getting caught. My friend the
Covering all of these mark variants for the past couple, it's entirely flat at the end of the fight. In another universe out there, Nolan is the one known as Invincible. I am sure, so don't ask me if I am. He was a pure-hearted hero who was sent to Earth to protect it instead of destroy it. Essentially Superman. But isn't he already a Superman knockoff? No, he isn't. Just because they're both aliens who were sent to Earth that can fly and have capes doesn't mean Omni-Man is a knockoff. Oh gee, you're right, Cloudify. I didn't even think of it that way. Heh, I know. Talk to yourself in your room simulator, am I right? Or what if Debbie and Nolan were still Mark's parents, but their roles were reversed? Nolan was a kind and caring human father, and Debbie was a cold-hearted guilty mode. But let's take it a step further. Why just focus on Mark's family? There's so many important characters that could have directly influenced how Mark turned out. What if the Gremlins survived? What if Mark's powers activated when he was giving William a high five at the grandma? What if Red Rush actually used his brain? There's an endless amount of alternate realities, but today I want to focus more on Nolan as Invincible. Now, when I say he could have been invincible, maybe he doesn't literally have the same name, but a similar color scheme or whatnot. Yes, it looks weird, I know. Maybe this is Omni-Mark's Nolan, and they switched roles. This would make sense because people have brought it to my attention numerous that in the comics, he says he offed his father, and instead of outright overpowering Nolan, he was simply bloodlusted while Nolan obviously wasn't trying to off him. But here's where things get interesting. Assuming he was sent to Earth to protect it, this implies that the whole of the Belgian Empire were actually good-natured people here. Maybe people actually recognize Conquest for his other talents, but if Nolan were a humble and well-respected hero here, how did Mark turn out so evil, so rotten? So sinister. I'll tell you how. Because of Debbie. Think Powerplex's wife, except smarter. And instead of manipulating her husband, she used her son as a vessel to carry out her evil plans. But Debbie has no reason to be evil. Why would she negatively influence Mark? Oh, I'll tell you why. Before anyone could see it. You guys think there's a Powerplex out there that successfully offed his mark? I mean, he is pretty strong, all things considered, especially since some of these marks are weaker than ours. Also, not every universe has an Oliver, because Nolan doesn't run away to the Bug Planet. You know what would really suck? The universes without Cecil. Love him or hate him, Cecil is a very necessary force, and we've seen some of his past. He had some very close calls and could have easily died there. So, for the universes without Cecil, they were pretty much cooked from the beginning. No one was there to manage all these superheroes, form teams, or greet Omni-Man on his arrival. And I know we don't really think about it, but some of these evil marks probably still have girlfriends. Some of them are probably dating Amber, or some evil version of Eve. Or possibly still a heroic version of Eve, but Mark is secretly evil like Omni-Man. And I've seen the original design for Bald Mark, and his initials still would have been BM, but not for Bald Mark, for Burger Mark, because apparently he still worked at Burger Mark even after he got his powers, because I guess in the main universe he just quits off screen. So maybe he started being a delivery flyer, because he obviously wouldn't drive. And he was employed as Invincible because he was wearing his costume with the Burger Mart hat. Unless he just had a Burger Mart hat lying around and his hairline was receding or something, and then he just wanted to wear the hat to cover it up. But if he were employed as Invincible, then did he quit as Mark and then reapply as Invincible? Or did he continue to be employed there as Mark Grayson, but just start wearing the costume and didn't really have a secret identity? Who knows? But I'm pretty sure he got a pretty decent pay raise, because I doubt any of these variants would work for a minimum wage, let alone work at all. So, respect to you for doing all of it, but it needs only to aid his variant during the war. Who knows what's going on there?
into Bill's house. Will that allow us to get back to being able to make stuff about other content, about other topics? Well, yeah, I guess it could. There's just too many. I can do it. What? I'm strong. Really strong. Good stuff, Dragon. I said lip.
Random thing to steal. Now I just want to see how bad this cop got. Every other cop got evaded or like knocked back or something like. But look at this guy. He runs in. That man is either dead or paralyzed for life. The good news, the hero show up, and all of a sudden I feel bad for you guys. They are trying their absolute hardest while these two are talking about women. The worst part is when Rex is like, yo, can you hurry this up? I already beat my guy. And Mark proceeds to say right in front of him, not even looking at him either, oh, I'm just trying to hold back. He's a normal dude. So what he decides to do is before running in, he yells, and I quote, normal this. Trump does 0 damage while Mark confirms, yeah, totally normal. Well, even with them getting away because Kate's brother pulls up, they are never going to forget this moment. But the reason